So I thought I'd flip through some of my full sketchbooks. I have a lot of sketchbooks that are half full, not finished, sitting on shelves waiting to be finished that I will probably never finish. I have a handful that are completely full, and I have to say I'm pretty proud of myself for filling every single one of these, since I often lose interest in a book before I finish it. This is obviously it's not my first sketchbook, but it's the first one where I really found the abstract style I was going for kind of towards the end of it, and I'll go through each page and talk about it a little bit. The first half of the book is pretty messy, it's very scatterbrained, but most of my sketchbooks are, and what can you expect? So first page, I started this in July of 2013, so I was 13 years old, and then when I opened this originally, there wasn't an end date in it, so I looked at the last dated drawing and it was March of 15, so it took me a couple years, about 2 years, to fill this book completely. And for filling an entire sketchbook, 2 years it's not bad, especially since it's my first one that I actually finished. So we got some random doodles, wings to show you what you can become, roots to remind you of where you're from. I would kind of use these as journals a little bit and just write down all my thoughts and any quotes I liked. So that's alright too. Sketchbooks are supposed to be messy. They're supposed to reflect who you are on the inside, and at the time, this is what I was. I got really into drawing fairies after my dad got me a book on drawing fairies for my 13th birthday. I was very into that book and all the little tutorials and instructions it had in it, so this is one I did out of that book. Another one I kind of made out of the book. She's kind of a beat up little fairy chilling on a mushroom. Some of the stuff in here is a little dark, and I guess that's alright too. More little anime girl with no eyelashes. It's all good. Got messy with breaking open a ballpoint pen and doing a little bit of like ink washing with that. That's what this is. I like the texture of this page. It's a little wrinkly and a little bumpy. It's not perfect, and I like it, I guess. Another sad crying girl, anime girl. I was trying to draw people, but I wasn't quite at the point where I could draw a proportionate face very well. So instead of practicing drawing a proportionate face, I just kind of drew animated faces, and I still would like to get back into that kind of anime comic book style, but it didn't stick very long. Some little doodles of people. This one's me. My long hair I used to have. A little bit of charcoal action going on here. This one I do like. It's a little dark, but I figured out I could draw eyes very well. So I started drawing faces, but when I'd mess up the lips or the other eye, I would put abstract stuff around it to hide it, and that's alright. You work with what you've got, and you know, I do like this. I feel like I would like to redraw this at some point. The messy and sketchy kind of whimsical feel of it. Some abandoned doodles. And here are some eyes that I found I was good at drawing. Yeah, some little fairy eyes. Little abandoned doodles. This one as well, I was very proud of at the time. Again, it's a little dark, but I like the concept of the bubbles. I don't really include that in a lot of, well, some of my artwork I do include bubbles and things of that sort. Definitely do another one similar to this, kind of redraw this with the skills that I know now. This one I wasn't so proud of. It's, I don't know. It's not bad, it's a start, but at the time, I'm speaking from the time I drew this, how I felt when I was working on this, and when I was working on this, and when I was finished with this, it wasn't my favorite. Kind of scary voodoo doll sort of deal. Practicing faces. There's not really a whole lot to say about a lot of these. I do like this one. I like that, I don't know, I like the shape of her face and how I made it a little whimsical, a little less perfect as far as the proportions go. This is where I started practicing real portraits, where I started looking up how to draw faces and such, and I'm glad I did at the time because now I can draw a decent face, and this is where it started. Cheshire Cat. I actually did this at some point on my Instagram for a challenge that somebody tagged me in. It was drawing Disney characters, and I did this Cheshire Cat with some pencils. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Little funky looking dude. This is where I got into pens. So I started getting into Zentangle sort of stuff, and got myself some ballpoint pens and started going from there. This is kind of where it starts getting into my more recent style and watching that develop. This is where it started. So this is kind of a abandoned Zentangle sort of page. Got a little jellyfish. This right here, I got a hold of some Sharpies, and I would go AWOL with some Sharpies at the time. Now I have upgraded to microns and fine point ballpoints and a bunch of fancy stuff, but every once in a while I take a step back and pick up a Sharpie and do some little Zendoodle things, and this is where I started developing my current style, the style that I'm most skilled in, I guess. I did a lot of these. Here's another one, kind of Zentangle, abstract, doodly, nothing. There wasn't really a concept. It was just putting lines on paper and then connecting them and adding some colors and maybe closing your eyes and scribbling a little bit. It was nice. There's another one. As you can see, the first one I did, I realized it was actually decent. I actually liked how it looked and I enjoyed drawing it. It wasn't frustrating. It didn't have to be perfect, and I did a lot. There's another one. This one's kind of abandoned. I decided I didn't like it so much. This one is still, to this day, one of my favorites. Kind of a city with some mountains, some stars, some galaxy maybe stuff. I'm not really sure. 10 out of 10. Still love this. I'm still proud of myself for this one. I love what I did with the minimalistic colors. And yeah. This is some doodle for a mural I painted when I was living in Texas. The place I was living asked me to paint them a mural of some fish and some water and just kind of like a nature fishing scene sort of deal. And this was one of the rough sketches I came up with. Here was another one, and a rough sketch, and another abstract centangle-y sort of thing. This one kind of reminds me of a electrical components, and I do really like this still. I like the minimalistic colors of the black and the red, and yeah. Welcome to my sketchbook, a diverse world of unexplainable lines. Mind cloud of thought, getting into that Zen doodly stuff again, practicing some little patterns, and I started watching some tutorial videos on Zentangle and abstract art and really got into it. Did a more minimalistic one, practicing. This is just a practice page. I was practicing stippling, some hatching, some swirly lines, you know, all that good stuff. Again, I would say this is a practice page, but I do still really like it. I feel like this would be very cool if it had a physical texture. Some pipes or geometrical designs, just practicing. And again, more just doodling away. As you can tell, when I found my style, I dove right into it, and I did all of these. Like, I was doing a drawing every day or every 2 days, whereas before I would draw here and there, and I always enjoyed it. But I just needed to find my style and find something I could do, like, back to back and again and get good at and be proud of myself for. So, more little geometrical sort of stuff. This is making characters. Unveil your ideas and be ready to act on them. This was a fortune cookie that I got, and I don't remember exactly how I came upon this fortune cookie or if there's anything significant about that situation, but I wrote this off of a fortune cookie. This is where probably the whole rest of this book is scripts, symbols, and such. This, again, breaking open some ballpoint pens and doing a little bit of ink washing. I really like this. This time I outlined the ink wash. And I love this idea, the messy, splattery kind of sort of deal. And then, you know, it's got a little bit of depth with the darker places and a little bit of contrast with the outline. So I do enjoy looking at this page. This one as well, I also enjoy looking at. I like what I did with the black and then the white dots. Got a hold of a silver Sharpie and just went at it, and it was a good time. Another kind of practice page, just doing some different patterns, different hatching. Yeah. I think a kid I was babysitting at the time drew this, or maybe my little sister, I'm not sure. I don't believe it was me though. Got some, I actually did this with highlighters and a ballpoint pen, and I think I was supposed to be doing schoolwork at the time, but this is what I got out of it. This one I didn't like so much. I felt like it was just, I don't know. I like the idea, I like the concept. Definitely would draw another drawing with this concept, but I just didn't like the little dude. Even though, I mean, looking back on it, I didn't like the little dude, but now he's pretty cool. He's got some spiky hair and some big eyes and some little shorts. He's pretty cool. More little cartoon characters. Never finished this. And some crayons. I like the glossiness of this page. It's waxy from crayons, and it's pretty nice. It's nice to feel, you know, you feel this page and then you feel this page and you're like, oh, okay, it's soft. More just doodling away, fooling around with some black backgrounds. Another practice page. This kind of reminds me of like a very rough version of what an inside of a tree would look like, or maybe some water, like some, you know, you throw a pebble in the water and you get those ripples. Maybe that's what this is. And as we go through life, we must remember the things we learned. This is where I started condensing my style into smaller spaces and started making them smaller and more detailed, and got myself some smaller pens. This one is pretty cool. I really like the idea. I kind of stole this off of somebody else's artwork that I really liked and drew my own version of it, which isn't always bad. So yeah, that's this little robot being torn apart. This is alien script that I learned on YouTube watching a certain artist who often wrote an alien script, and then the whole rest of this book is me practicing it, making up my own scripts, making little symbols. This is all alien. Yeah, I was really into it, signing my name 1,000 times in a certain script, writing things. Another little doodle here with some alien scripts. I honestly can't read this now. I could if I tried, but I don't feel like trying. Another broken ink pen. I do enjoy this piece. Again, the texture, it's very kind of ripply a little bit. It just, I don't know. I like it. This is where it bled through, and I outlined it. Little doodly doodle here. Some abandoned sketchy pages. Little rocket ship, spaceship, something going on. I'm not sure, but I like the colors. Oh, this one right here. I like this one a lot. I really do. Again, I kind of redrew that cityscape, but I really like my smoke or clouds going on here. I like that a lot. I like this line that goes over one cloud and under the other one. I also like what I did with the silver Sharpie here and the different colors of all the houses. So yeah, I do enjoy this piece a lot. And now, that is the end of this book. This book is where I really found my style, and I started to work with it. You can see how far my art progressed as soon as I did find my style. I just went right at it and started doing everything like that, and I enjoyed filling out this book. It's pretty old. I have many more sketchbooks to flip through, so thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.